Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Rob. I'm the ecosystem lead at Alchemy Pay. Alchemy Pay is a fiat crypto payment gateway, so an on and off ramp provider. And what I'm going to talk about today, bridging the fiat and crypto global economy, is really an update on where we are in terms of what we can achieve, what we can do now, not just what's in the future. Certainly over the last couple of years, I think there's been a lot of developments in terms of being able to integrate traditional finance with crypto. So much development on both sides, really, and we are kind of bridging the two, traditional finance and cryptocurrency. So things to sort of bear into consideration, perhaps, when you're working with a ramp provider, understanding the space a little better, and I think also hopefully giving you a good background to some of the talks that are coming over the next hour or so as well. So first of all, who are we? So Alchemy Pay, founded in 2017 in Singapore, originally based in Singapore, Hong Kong, crypto payments for merchants, so allowing merchants to use a network system that allowed them to accept crypto and get paid out in fiat or stable coins if that's what they wanted. Since then, we've gone on to expand and do on and off ramp, so fiat to crypto, or then off ramping crypto to fiat. NFT Checkout, we also have a crypto funded MasterCard and Visa card as well. So, and you can see a number of the projects that we're working with. So yeah, maybe 2 years ago, 18 months ago, things were not as good, you know, high card fees, it was complex, poor accessibility. Not everyone around the world has access to Visa and MasterCard or Google Pay or Apple Pay. Really, we've managed to improve a lot of the situation there. You know, 5% for on-ramping, you know, that's generally a thing of the past. There are still regions that are still considered very high risk by traditional finance. So there are still in some regions quite high fees, but overall the whole situation has improved. You know, for let's say a token issuer without ramp support, you know, they're asking a lot. They're asking the user maybe to go to their application, go to their platform, become interested, or they've gone there because they're interested, but actually now they get sent away, right? If you want to use this app, you now have to go off to find an exchange, open up an account now, and then send it to your wallet, and then you can come back when you're ready to participate. So obviously that's not the ideal way. You see a lot of drop-offs in that, and it's also people's very first experience into crypto. So, you know, I think the improvements that on-ramp providers have really made a big difference. You know, maybe for major crypto coins, you can take a few less steps, maybe more easy, but certainly for smaller token issuers who have maybe just launched their token, you know, it's great if they can actually sell their token directly on their site. So you would actually have an on-ramp there. Okay, so a plugin that goes on your platform, on your application. And you can see that, you know, there's a different number of steps within the on-ramp procedure. So one thing we can say that's happened recently is, you know, the integration of Ethereum domain name services, for example, also BNB Space ID. So people can now use that to log into their on-ramp. Then we've got the idea of more than just Visa and MasterCard. If you look in the middle image, you can see it's much more than just MasterCard today. You know, we've got bank transfers, we've got QR codes, yeah, as I said, Google Pay, Apple Pay, but also a lot of local payment systems. You know, digital payments have continued to increase, but also alternative payment methods. So if you hear people talking about APMs, alternative payment methods, you know, this is something that's growing and taking more market share from Visa and MasterCard, for example. And so really we want to be able to support people to be able to pay with the methods that they want to pay with. You know, we want to meet them where they are, not ask too much of the user. Okay, so you can see there are major global payment systems that are now growing and taking market share from some of the bigger payment giants. So yeah, and actually I think maybe some of you will be surprised that, you know, 58% of payments are actually localized payment methods. So that's domestic transactions, yeah? Now, with the advantage with domestic transactions, it's considered much lower risk by traditional finance. Okay, so you're going to get lower fees. You're also going to have much higher conversion rates. Okay, so your card transaction actually your payment transaction actually going through, not being rejected. Okay, which is often the case. You know, crypto is at a high-risk category. It's a merchant category code 6051, high-risk category, and so that's what we're always kind of battling against. But as you can imagine, as the years go by, well, depending on how the crypto industry is dealing with its frauds and scams, and policing itself, the risk level over the years is going down, and so that increases prices, low-cost transactions, and also, conversion rates as well. So here you can see a few examples. You can see the recognizable ones that we know, of course, SEPA in Europe, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Google Pay, Apple Pay. This is the reality in Europe for most people, but actually in the rest of the world, you've got, particularly in Southeast Asia where we originally began, we've seen, OVO, Dana, Gcash, so many local QR codes, Thai QR, where they're actually essentially an open banking system, allowing people to access crypto via their bank. So again, local transactions. And this is really one of the biggest development. 2 years ago, this was really not the case. And something like Pix in Brazil, for example, is a domestic payment system actually set up by the central bank there. Got 120 million users. Gcash in the Philippines, 67 million users. So really, a lot is possible now that wasn't possible in terms of ease of use for the user and actually allowing them to use their preferred choices. Now, we've got another aspect as well of true accessibility is the idea of being able to go in and go out, right? The idea that we can experiment with crypto if we want, and we know we can come out again, the idea of off-ramping. So this is really important. And again, we've seen big improvements over the last couple of years. It doesn't, for a start, the idea of off-ramping to so many countries now in so many local currencies, we can do 32, and that number is always growing. But, the capabilities for off-ramping are much more possible than I think people realize. And I understand, most of the clients we're working with, the partners we're working with, they're very interested in accessibility, but I do think accessibility also includes that idea that you can move freely in and out of crypto and between the two, between fiat and crypto. We want it to be as seamless as possible, and that's always been our aim. Yeah, so now we can do direct transfers to your bank, but we can also do direct transfers to your card, to your Visa, MasterCard. Okay. Now, to do all this, of course, client compliance is crucial. There's no getting away from that. You're working with traditional finance. You are obtaining licenses so that essentially you maybe have a money exchange license, a money transmitter license. Around the world, they're called different things, but essentially exchange licenses, some sort of brokerage license as well. I do think what's interesting about a payment gateway is that it sort of connects to the Web3 ethos of giving you custody of your own assets. Because when you buy through a payment gateway, usually it will be sent directly to your wallet, to your crypto wallet. So the purchased crypto is sent directly to your wallet, and actually the payment gateway provider will only go and source liquidity once they've taken payment in fiat from the user. So they're not actually custodying assets in most cases. Okay. Now, there's also another case where the Onramp will actually send to a centralized wallet as well, which is maybe the case in an exchange as well. So another big thing that I know a lot of people are very excited about right now, and something we've seen a huge development in, is the ability to, a white label crypto-funded card system. Yeah, schemes for Web3 projects, Web3 platforms, also can be Web2 platforms, allowing them to issue their own branded MasterCard, Visa, prepaid cards that can be funded with crypto. Okay, very exciting thing in terms of allowing people that real ease of use in terms of actually spending their crypto on real world goods and services. And in terms of regulation, it's very interesting. It's slightly different from off-ramping, although under the hood, you are still off-ramping from crypto to fiat currencies. Usually it'll be denominated in euros or USD. But again, these are things that have only recently sort of been developed, or the ability to do this. So we expect to see that to continue to improve, including the tokens that you can top up with as well. So I think this is something that's very exciting. The idea you can make ATM withdrawals using that card. You know, this is physical cards we're talking about, but also virtual cards as well. You know, both have their pros and cons in terms of ease of use, cost for the user, all those different aspects. So that's a really exciting thing, I think, that's happened over the past year, more of a proliferation and ability for Web3 platforms to issue their own branded cards. And then, of course, NFT Checkout. Now, this has been floating around for a while, but it is quite complicated under the hood. You've got the ability to serve users who are buying NFTs directly from a platform, but from a marketplace. But then you've also got the idea of users being able to sell peer-to-peer and still be able to pay with fiat, let's say, and then have that converted into whatever the cryptocurrency for that NFT might be. Yeah, so this is something that in terms of its sophistication, I think is continually improving. Okay, well, guys, thank you very much for having me. Enjoyed the rest of the talks for today. And yeah, I hope I've been able to highlight some ideas about fiat crypto payment gateways for you. So thank you very much. More than welcome to come and chat to me after the talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob.